Welcome back to the Dota 2 Asian Championship. This is day 2 of the playoffs, and the coverage is brought to you by the Score Esports. Score Esports, let's remember once again, this site and mobile app which can get you anything you want about esports. It has live scores for not only Dota, it has League of Legends. Dota is coming very soon. It also has a lot of articles. We've discussed some of the articles yesterday about one that Hotbit wrote in particular. We're going to talk about some of them later during the next days. But it's a great platform, available for Android now, soon to be available for iPhone. If you're going to go, you can check it in the store. There's going to be a link in the Beyond the Summit chat. So check that out. Going back to ourselves, we have the third lower bracket match of the day. That is going to be my personal favorite, Navi versus HGT. Same colors, very different teams.
You just like the logos, right?
Yes.
That's what you care about.
That's what you cheer for. I mean,
I think supposedly the game we just saw could have been really exciting, and I think the game most people were expecting, I would say, in the lower bracket round 1 to be very exciting.
To be the most even,
yeah,
right?
That and eHome Cloud9 I think had the most potential. I would say going into this game, Navi clear favorites for me, but if HGT pull out their A game, it is definitely possible for them, and it's the best of 1. So scary stuff for both teams, of course. I don't know. Do you think 2-1 is realistic, or is that
what 2-1?
Yeah.
The bet
2-1 for Navi.
It's 3-1 in the ebattle.com.
I think it's fair though. Like you mentioned, if HGT brings on their A game, they definitely could have potentially caused an upset in this match. It's BO1. Anything can happen. You never know. Your random stuff. You just like what we were talking about. Rune can actually win you a game, and you got unfortunate, and it's BO1. Deal with it.
Who do you favor?
How do you deal with it when you're knocked out?
You win the next.
You're right to Ice Frog.
You
you're
win
like,
the next tournament.
give me a better rune next time, Ice Frog.
Please, come on. Winter, who do you favor? The old legend ZSMJ or Mr. Alexander Dashkevich?
I have to say Alexander Dashkevich has showed that he is the favorite here to carry his team.
Will he get the troll? We'll figure out when we go to the draft. The draft has just started. It looks like this.
It
He
looks
doesn't
like
get the troll.
without a troll.
Without a chance.
So HGT, they've liked playing with Juggernaut on ZSMJ in a lot of their games. They've also liked a draft that is visible. Okay, there we go.
Great.
Production
I
value
did
showing
shot.
all the overlays in succession. They're gonna first pick the axe. So what do you do if you're Navi here?
Well, you don't pick the Lycan to begin with.
There's a Bat Rider for Funnick.
Bat Rider or Tide seems like a good option against Axe. The way he jumps in and you can counter initiate with those heroes. Yeah, but you definitely don't want to have Lycan on your team. It's very risky.
Maybe you start with the supports. You might want your Vengeful Spirit. You might want your Lion. Your
support
Rubik.
Warlock.
Rubik is one of those. Yeah.
No support Warlock.
Support lock doesn't work. They do get the Juggernaut for Hobos. Most likely.
Yes.
Will we see Vanscore's Rubik here?
I think so. It seems like a very likely pick. There we go.
Okay.
There's Vanscore's Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. That's good. Suddenly playing mid.
Support Shadow Fiend.
Dendi downgraded to support. This is TI1 all over again.
Is that a downgrade or an upgrade, Bruno? I feel like that's very biased towards the cores. It's an upgrade, Bruno.
I think it's way too hard to play support.
Think of it. It's called position 4 and 5, which is bigger than 1.
Right.
And Dendi plays Rubik.
Yep.
There we go.
Confirmed.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Now my question is, should Hobos be position number 4 then?
Yes.
Damn.
He is. That's been the plan all along for them, I feel. So, okay. We've got the Juggernaut for Hvos. They pretty much grab that whenever they can get away with it. It's when you see Navi drafting, they get Hvos Troll or Juggernaut almost exclusively. If both of them are out of the picture, if one of them is just a flat-out really bad pick, they don't, but else it's alternating between the two. So he gets the Jugger. Shadow Fiend for Dendi, no big surprise, has been a very big mid-hero in this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we saw Shadow Fiend, actually, when we saw people picking Shadow Fiend against Navi, Navi found one of the greatest answers, which was the Queen of Pain.
Yes.
Now this hero all on its own has a lot of potential to counter it. Hyperglory team seems not to be wanting to go for that, but rather going for the TA. How do you think the TA fares in a 1v1 matchup versus
For
Shadow?
me, TA technically you could do well when you reach level 6, and with the refractions you could have better CS in the first few levels, but I still feel the most important thing of dealing with the Shadowfiend, as we saw in a couple of games where Shadowfiend struggle, is to give him pressure, early rotations, pressure him, try to get a gank. Like one of the games where we saw it was a Mirana, I think it was from F1, he kept shooting arrows, but even though it didn't hit, but it was constantly creating a fear, and Shadowfiend got affected by it. He didn't want to go up to take too many last hits because he's always afraid of the arrow, and resulting into a situation where he got out-leveled by the sniper. The sniper used the sharpnel to just get a kill on the Shadowfiend subsequently.
They could have really grabbed the sniper, actually. I think that would have been pretty good. Juggernaut, if he comes up close, sure. But if you can keep your distance, Juggernaut needs to... Okay, so Sniper has really good range, right? And when the fight breaks out, Juggernaut needs to like run through the fight into Sniper. He can so easily create space himself. He's a Mask of Madness carrier, can use that in his phase boots, and then you have your Juggernaut rushing in and your Sniper rushing out, and no one dies, and that's fine.
No,
It's
the
also very
axe-
good. It's also
the
very
axe will make the Juggernaut die.
Yeah, or the
Yeah.
axe just jumps on your Jugger and you're screwed, right?
Also, Sniper is very good against Healing Ward because of the range.
Yes.
It's very easy
Saw that
to
earlier too.
just hit it.
And I don't know. I'm generally not a big fan of seeing TA being picked so early. For me, it's a hero that you can really counter hard with the right damage over
Not
time
flexible
abilities.
as
Not
well.
flexible at all. Can't go off lane. Can't support.
What do you
Can
think is
safe
weak?
lane,
What do you
but-
think is weak against? Not in terms of the laning stage, but rather as a, if you know that the team is first picking, or in this case second picking a Templar Assassin.
What
How
TA
do you
is weak against?
Yes.
Multiple damage over time sources.
Mm-hmm.
Hard lockdown that goes through BKB.
Yeah.
Such as Axe
oh.
himself.
Area of effect, non-targeted spells as well. Is
Yes, so you
something.
can hit it
and
meld.
there's the spin from Juggernaut and the races from Shadowfiend. So meld is not going to be great in this match.
Does Requiem just totally blow up refraction? It does, right?
Yes,
'Cause
it does.
Yeah,
It's
16 instances of
individual
damage.
Individual
instances.
damages.
Yeah. So she's even with that. Let's say you hit a mediocre Requiem, you still remove 50% of her damage and her entire refractions back. So, not so sure. This is another hero that's good against TA that they grab themselves the line. Hard lockdown. Mana drain is also very annoying for it
Good
to
with
deal
the
with.
axe as well.
Good with axe. This
Yep.
is you call, you finger, and you cull. That's a kill.
Very straightforward.
It's a very easy gank to execute, actually.
Mhm.
I still feel like Navi are really in their comfort zone right now. They're getting all the key heroes for the key players. Then the only thing missing right now is a defensive support for Godblack. I wouldn't be surprised to see them getting it Baton at this point. I actually think it's a really good pick.
Yeah.
Shield against the Lion, shield against even Berserker's Call. I believe you can remove with Aphotic Shield. I think it takes it off.
No, I don't think
Are you
so.
sure?
I can check it out. Very
Damn,
quick.
that's one of the ones
I've
I'm
been-
not
How,
sure
how do you
about.
assuming Navi doesn't want to rotate and find kills with his support, how do you feel Tree fares here if you make sure that Shadowfiend has the armor all the time, countering the refraction
Tree
from
is
the
good too.
TA?
Yeah, I like Treant. It's another nice pick.
And I'm saying that because that's one of the heroes that GoBlack throughout his life favored a lot.
I definitely say defensive supports is the way to go for Godblack, as we're trying to find out about the.
Oh, Keeper of the Light.
that's
It
an-
is a sort of defensive support in a way.
Yep.
Doesn't say here though. Maybe I should go to Aphotic Shield.
Mana Leak has been
Yeah.
buffed since the time it was picked a lot. It is a 3-second stun right now if you run out of mana, which can be a pretty big deal. Blinding Light, always good against damage dealer, right clickers. TA is going to be one of them. The ability to relocate people in the map is going to allow Shadowfiend and Juggernaut not forced to necessarily go for Boots of Travel unless it's super late into the game and they want to just go to some lane and go back. What are you looking for, by the way?
We're looking for whether Aphotic Shield removes
I don't think it
Berserker's Call, which I think it does, but
Okay.
we can't find it here.
I
okay.
think it doesn't. But
Oh, I'm not sure. It might be
think it
down
doesn't.
here. Well, okay. So about the Keeper of the Light, Blinding Light, a very good tool against TA. I think is a big part of the reasoning.
yeah,
Also very good against Axe when he goes in. You create some space, you buy some time, and the way Axe sets up fights, they tend to draw out a bit. He calls, you follow through, a team fight develops, easy to hit an Illuminate. As far as the Chakra magic goes, though, I feel like they don't really have any hero that really needs
not
it.
for now.
Maybe they
It's okay
finish.
for
Maybe they get a
Maybe they get a Timber Saw.
Timber Saw. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking that Timber Saw not that great against TA. I feel. She's agility. She's not strength. She has refraction on each
Yep.
of the spells.
It does disable.
It does disable.
Or wait a second. List
No.
of abilities that cannot be dispelled.
Cannot.
by stun
That
spells,
makes sense.
Berserker's Call.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
think
It
does.
doesn't-
It does not remove Berserker's Call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So man, you just need to look up those lists every time.
It is
Dota,
like
Dota 2 is very.
one day
arbitrary.
I will publish the book of Dota. It's going to be 1,500 pages that will be updated once every month
And one day we'll have a Bruno School of Dota.
of Dota.
you,
Yeah,
you go in, you read the book, you graduate 1 year later, and you have a degree in Dota.
you agree in Dota, and you get to play in a pro team. Yeah.
Nice.
You're mechanically gifted. Navi, they banned the Skywrath Mage and they have the last pick. Centaur ban from HGT is pretty nice. It allows you to disengage very fast, but Navi, they have choices. As I said, they have the Timber Saw, Bat Rider has been banned, but there's the Tide Hunter which has gone completely unnoticed. They can go for something more untraditional like the Clinks that Fanny likes.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking that since they have Kotal, they can do Rubik, Kotal plus the Juggernaut, aggressive tri-lane against the greedy support like Lion. You could potentially punish that and have a good 1v1 matchup for Fanny against, like you pick something that does very well against Axe, a range hero.
Mm-hmm.
Clinks is very good.
Yeah,
I
Clinks.
like that a lot.
Clinks good against Ember as well. This is...
Weird.
At least it's not support.
This is not support. Yeah,
At least.
Hey,
Just wait until the coddle goes mid.
hey, maybe it's Core Keeper of the Light or Core Dandy Rubik again.
It's a
No.
core war.
No, it's a Core
It's a
Warlock.
core warlock.
It is a
Please
Core Warlock.
don't do this, Goblet.
The reasoning of the Core Warlock, right here. Well,
You-
Fatal Bond goes through refraction
Yeah.
because it's HP removal.
I think the biggest
That was changed, right?
the biggest reason
oh,
the
it was changed. You're
the biggest
correct.
reason was like just they wanted to push instead of just only the fatal bonds. I think they don't have much to defend early on with the warlock. Good 1v1 against Axe. You can even take fatal bonds like you guys were talking about in the lane against Axe.
Do you think this is the 1v1 versus Axe and not versus TA? Because Shadow Ward is very good against refraction,
Yeah, but
and you could 1v1 the Axe.
yeah,
with the
could work. But I would rather have the Shadow Fiend mid because he's a hero that uses the runes better than
yeah,
warlock.
that is true.
Yes, and he has the small camp that he can also farm and stack.
Yeah, it's
Has
better
more
to have it that
access
way.
across.
But warlock definitely is still able to beat TA in that matchup 1v1.
Yeah.
You could do that. As far as the fatal bonds goes, I think it's actually a buff for Warlock against TA that it's not HP removal anymore.
Uh huh.
Because now that fatal bonds does the same damage type as the spell you cast or the damage
Yes.
instance, it should remove refraction
Should
pretty
charge
quickly.
yes.
Actually, with the fatal bonds
That
procs,
was
as
the
long as
same
they
with
are.
Soul Catcher as well. They changed it for
Yes,
Soul Catcher.
Soul Catcher got changed too.
Look at it go is going to be the last support, and again, talking about greedy supports, Lion and Witch Doctor. These guys really want to get levels, really want to get some farm.
Yeah,
I think
really-
it's scary to aggressive
I
trial
really
now.
wouldn't be surprised if it's just a Rubik, Kotal, and Juggernaut. Aggressive tri-lane with the Warlock getting 1v1 matchup against Axe and Shadow Fiend against TA mid.
The good forgotten thing about having a Keeper of the Light in your lineup when you go offensive tri-lane is that you can steal the easy camp from your opponent. So you
Yes.
could farm the camps and also stopping them from pulling without having to invest a ward into blocking.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is
It's
going to be
Pretty interesting.
lineups. Yeah,
Um,
it's going to be Fanic Warlock.
yes, safe lane
Uh,
as expected.
Safe lane, yeah.
Looks like it.
And Ruvik is going to be Vanskor, of
not
course.
not Dandy.
Yeah.
And I want to say one last thing before we throw it to the casters here. So this core Warlock that we've seen a couple of times from Navi, Upheaval has been incredibly powerful in their games, more so than Fatal Bonds, in the sense that Navi pick lineups that want to proceed into fights and continue to chase. We've seen the Ghost Juggernaut, Shadow Fiend wants to keep running after targets, hitting raises and fighting. The moment Navi gets ahead in a fight, they get bonus kills compared to in other fights, because this Upheaval keeps the whole fight in place. TA cannot escape.
Mm-hmm.
She's usually a pretty elusive hero, can drop a trap and run out. Ember Spirit, he can maybe jump out if the Remnant's in the right place, but if he's already slowed by Upheaval, that Remnant's going to travel at 100 move speed.
Yeah,
So-
that is true.
This is a pretty nice Warlock game, I think. And I would expect Funnick to go 0-4-4-1 build and then proceed into Fatal Bonds. We'll see.
Okay. Before going into the casters, the bet of the day. How many last hits will ZSMJ get? More or less than 400.
Man, that's gonna be some random number. Huh?
More or less than 400.
Say, say,
250.
Okay.
say less. Less.
Less
This
than
game isn't going to
400.
go that long.
Excellent. Okay. Luminum, GoDz, we're ready for you. Take us away with Navi versus HGT.
We'll take you away, but real fast, throwing Bruno under the bus. You gotta give us more time than this. What if a level 1 fight breaks out? What if they're doing level 1 Rosh?
I know, man. We gotta up our game.
What if Havos is nice and feed right here?
It's the Havos bounty rune level 1 first blood. I've seen this before. Oh, Havos. Normally it's the bottom rune. This time it's the top one. There will be a counter kill as they bring down Kaka.
Did he get the rune?
It went to... Yeah, it went to Havos. It's... What do the numbers tell you? You're the mathematician.
Not worth.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing that I do want to mention is that when Na'Vi does well... Okay, just harassing. When Na'Vi does well, it's Havos doing well. Like, when Havos gets good farm for the first 5 minutes, doesn't feed first blood, doesn't give away 3 kills, they tend to roll over the opponents. With that said, given how the game just started, not looking good.
The other concern for me this game is I think Na'Vi, the way they've laid this, their draft is solid and all, but this is their first time really running an offensive trial lane. Havos has almost always been in the safe lane farming, and...
They ran it against Cloud9 as well.
Okay.
And they stopped Cloud9.
All right. So after a game like that, maybe a bit more confident that they can go out of their kind of comfort zone, which has been more of the 2-1-2. But they have done the offensive trial lane before. And there's a lot of magic damage. Flame Guard is just not something you can rely on against a lane with Blade Fury, Illuminate, Fade Bolt. This is just not going to be a very friendly Ember Spirit lane in general.
I wonder if Kado's actually going to get Mono League at 2. I feel that it's a very kind of good chasing spell, especially when Juggernaut is just spinning and running at you. That, you know, you kind of just have to run away, right? Mono League becomes a stun at that point. Havos likes to actually take up that Blade Fury to level 2 at level 3, so it is a very powerful diving spell. We'll see if he's going to go for the build that, you know, he normally goes for.
Something kind of cool at bottom lane. Axe is just completely creep skipping, does not want to be in lane against Funnick, because Funnick can put down the Fatal Bonds, right-clicks pretty hard as well. He wants to avoid Funnick, force him to stay at the tower, clearing out creep waves, while Icy can actually deal with, well, the wave behind the tower and stay as far away from the Funnick harass as possible.
I think Warlock's one of the better heroes to sustain under the tower, though. You could tank the wave, kite the wave a little bit because your range, you have the Shadow Word. I am surprised that he's actually going for the Shadow Word. I'm in agreement with Cinder in that I think Upheaval suits Navi's playstyle much better, which is you want to fight fights where chasing becomes a thing, where it's back and forth, and a long channel Upheaval is... Really.
Are you surprised about the Shadow Word or the Fatal Bonds?
Fatal Bonds.
Okay.
You definitely want the Shadow Word because you're laning.
Yeah.
I think Upheaval is just a little bit more important. And he's actually using the Shadow Word offensively. Interesting.
Yeah.
He's out of Tangle, so I thought he would have saved it for himself, but hey.
I mean, at the same time, Icy also out of Tangos. He has his Tranquil Boots up, but he's taking a lot of damage here. He can't really go behind the tower. There's still mana for a second Shadow Word if he wants to follow this one up. So Icy's going to have to play pretty cautiously until he heals up a bit with the Tranquils.
Yeah, I think the solo lanes are kind of pan out as expected. Axe is going to get farm, Warlock's going to get farm. Same thing on the mid lane. I think the top lane is really where most of our attention should be, because if Havos dives and gets killed, then GG Na'Vi.
Yeah, Illuminate's coming out, catches 2 HGT support, well, 1 support as well as ZSMJ, and this is the kind of harass you want to be dishing out when you're a Keeper of the Light in a trial lane versus trial. And even if you're not initiating off of it, just constant harass, keep HGT low, prevent ZSMJ being in a position where he can actually go for CS.
Icy's dropping precariously low. I think he should just dodge away the lane, but Funnick's got phase boots. He's walking really fast. One more right click's gonna do the job as Icy. Okay, plus 40 armor momentarily, but Funnick's gonna just walk forward.
Stout should proc!
One more hit! Yeah, that's a solo kill that he should not be given away.
Funnick just outplaying him.
Yeah.
That is a big kill to be getting as well. That gets Funnick level 5.5, finds a Binding Rune, finds a double Bounty Rune. That's some value for Funnick. Gets him close to, well, halfway to level 6, as top lane is going to be Air on the Templar Assassin getting a haste. This is a dangerous rune. Shadow Fiend is going to need a TP support from someone like a Rubik once TA hits level 6, if TA wants to go diving the tower, especially with something like Phase Boots. I guess at the end of the day, the haste is effectively Phase Boots, just without the extra damage.
Okay, so something to point out is that Keeper of Light actually went for the standard chakra magic, and this makes it, this speaks to me that they just want to kind of slowly whittle away the opposing trial lane, just basically spam them out. With
mid lane, here we go, haste rune comes in, and that's the TP from Rubik. Air went in with the haste, went for the dive on Dandy, did it before he even hit level 6.
Here's the thing, do you try to play again and force yet another TP?
Well, who can TP? Keeper of the Light's not really a prime candidate.
Yeah, they don't
for that.
have any TP.
Yeah. I mean, so at this point, you go for it if you can kill Dandy, which I think Dandy now, he's got his boots. Maybe as soon as TA hits 6, Air's about to hit 6, has a bit left on the haste rune, but it's going to expire. And if he had phase boots there, I think he maybe goes for it, but also low in mana for another refraction.
Lion is in the vicinity here, but Dandy's gonna just jungle a bit.
We'll see how long this lasts, though. Dandy maybe not aware of the Lion's rotation.
I mean, Lion with boots, he's still very, very slow. But does TA have 6 yet? That's the question. Yeah, Trap's available. With the single pop of Trap, and the fact that a TP has already been used on Rubik, I think they could just go for this kill very easily.
Yep.
But
they saw Lion now with the ward, yeah.
Okay. It's a good attempt. But Na'Vi playing really tight early on, getting these kind of solo kills, defensive TP here for Dandy as well. They're kind of doing everything as expected.
Axe is still out-leveling Warlock is the amazing thing as well.
He's been partly jungling as well, I suppose.
Yep. He's been... I feel like he was actually winning the lane quite well. He wasn't taking... I mean, he was taking a lot of damage as far as harass went, but as far as getting farm in the jungle as well as the lane, he was doing much better than Funnick was. He's got 38 last hits to the 24 of Funnick. A lot of those are from the small neutral camp, but that's still a big CS lead.
Yeah, Funnick, kind of very counterintuitive of a safe lane play, blocking his own small camp purposely because Axe is farming both the small neutral as well as the wave. Vanscore might be a little bit of trouble here, taking a ton of damage. Here comes that level 2 Blade Fairy, but Vanscore is going to be the first one to drop Illuminate, doing a ton of damage. Vanscore drops. How much can Juggernaut get done? He gets 1 kill. He's chasing Kaka down, but the phase boot's already worn out, and that should be it. Unfortunately, wait, what was the healing ward dropped for him? I'm not sure if it was, and I guess it got killed immediately.
I think they dealt with that just with the range auto attacks. Mid lane here, Axe kind of trying to creep skip against Dendy, but level 7, max level raises, this is something Icy doesn't want to get too aggressive against.
Another TP was used and cancelled.
Was that Rubik again? Vangscore, I mean, he was at Fountain anyways. He may as well TP mid and then walk top if that's where he wants to go, but
sure.
I'm not sure if he intended to cancel that one. Either way, Na'Vi, I feel, not in as good a position as they'd like to be based on the offensive trial line. Icy's going to have a very fast blink dagger on his axe, and that to me is one of the scary things. He's going to come online faster than the Warlock. Warlock can drop a rock, get maybe a kill every 2.5, 3 minutes, but an axe with a blink dagger is going to be constantly looking to gank Dandy, constantly looking to gank Kavost.
Yeah, and you can see that the way that HGT is playing is they're constantly forcing these TPs. Sure, you know, TA is not bullying your Shadow Fiend as much as a result, but these TP really starts to add up. And going back to that Warlock point you mentioned, you could drop the rock every 2.5 and 3 minutes, but you got to get a lot of it done, right? You either have to take 2 kills or maybe a tier 1 tower. You can't just drop the rock nilly-nilly. Dandy, he's dead, unless we're going to see more TP, and this time it's going to come from the Rubik, but is it going to be enough? Illuminate's going to come through as well. Dandy barely survives. They're going to lose a line as a result. Great TP. Oh no, they're not. Can we get just a tiny Illuminate? Yes! Great play from GoBlack. Looks like GoBlack's going to drop a life, but at the end of the day, you traded 2 TPs for a support versus support kill. I think HGT will take that.
Yeah. Not to mention, Dendy going to get kind of forced out of the lane. I guess he is actually going to go jungle here, so he's not going to miss out on too much, but it still feels like that's not too bad for HGT. Bottom lane, Chaotic Offering was dropped down, and you talked about getting a lot done with the Chaotic Offering. Zilch. Put some pressure on Icy, but
I think he wanted to get the solo kill, but I guess...
Yeah.
I mean...
Just the 1 point in upheaval doesn't look like it was used. It's not on cooldown, so...
He's even healing the rock. I guess he really wanted to commit for this tier 1 tower. Yeah. If he gets this T1, it would be nice, but here comes Lion. Lion with Tranquil Boots moving very... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I think he got scouted going down past the tower tree vision.
Oh, God. Oh, the Flaming Fist is hitting Lion hard. That was 2 hits.
Look. He saw what happened to Hao. He's like, please, I ain't making that mistake. We didn't go 2 and 13 in the group stage.
Came close. Actually, they recover very, very well. Oh, sort of.
HGT had an okay running. They were at least out of the tiebreakers.
Dandy on the mid lane. I really like the way that Air is playing it. He knows he's not getting these kills, but he's just putting Dandy, you know, on his toes and forcing how many TPs has went on the mid lane? I'm counting 4.
3 from the Rubik, and I think 1 from one from Keeper of the Light.
So that's 400 gold on supports.
There's an Omni Slash. ZSMJ
Oh, he's dead.
Yep, Fire Remnant out.
So we've been kind of talking about multiple points, about Chaotic Offering being used, about how this TA is forcing out TPs. Who do you think it's really ahead right now?
It still feels like Na'Vi are ahead. I mean, we're kind of talking about HGT. They seem to be doing things right, but Na'Vi, end of the day, the way they set up the lanes, they're getting more farm out of the majority of these lanes. Dendi on par with the TA, but the Ember Spirit is getting next to nothing out of the top lane. I feel like the two solo lanes went pretty even on farm. TA's forcing support rotations, but even with the supports TPing mid or cancelling TPs mid, Ember Spirit is still getting crushed by Havos in terms of just raw farm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I think HGT in the next 5 minutes could do a lot with their item. You talked about the Blink Dagger and Axe, and obviously this TA, if they find an opening, they can just go into Roshan and mow it down with a good 30 seconds. So I think if Na'Vi has to be careful, it's going to be in the next 5 minutes.
Who do you gank if you're Icy? Do you go for the Shadow Fiend or do you go for the Jug? I feel like those are the two options.
I don't think the Warlock's a bad choice either.
Okay.
Because you safe lane farm him, you're looking to get an Aghanims, and later down the road a Refresh Orb as well. Anytime you could delay that is not too bad. But any of the 3 cores, you'll be happy to have.
Smokes towards top, going to bypass an Observer Ward, and he's going to be looking for Havos here. Blink, call to start things off. The Death Ward as well from above can't be cancelled. Down will go Havos, and they may get 2 off of this. The TPM from your Templar Assassin will guarantee a kill on Vayne score. Nice rotation there. I don't think they needed the TA perhaps, but either way, good way to secure the kill and make sure Air can get some of that nice yummy gold as well.
Yeah, but the TA teleporting in means they're going to lose a good half health on their tower.
I don't know if Ember had mana to Fire Remnant afterwards, but with Phase Boot, should have been able to chase down the Rubik. Perhaps a bit of lost value there with the TA TPing as well.
Yeah, it's a ton of commitment, but hey, you know, they got the kills. Again, importantly on Havos. Meanwhile, it's the Lion getting a key level 6, or trying to get that level 6 on the bottom lane. And
Yep. I feel like Lion seeing level 6 is always a nice little timing as well. Like, the Axe gets the blink, you go for a smoke. Now your line has level 6, so Na'Vi know the Blink Dagger and the Axe is there. They'll be playing a bit more cautiously, but they won't maybe be ready for the Finger of Death burst damage as well.
Yeah, I think level 11 is very key on line as well. That cooldown gets lower dramatically.
We'll see what the next move for HGT is going to be. They've got Axe once again kind of hiding. The other nice thing you can do as Axe is stay off the map, because even if he's not ganking actively with his Blink Dagger, when he's in the jungle like this, if Na'Vi don't have vision of him, they have to play just naturally defensive, worried about that Blink Call initiation.
Yeah, and you talked about how ZSMJ had Zilch farm top, but since that fight, I don't think they could just focus on ZSMJ anymore. So ZSMJ is going to have some recovery. Normally, it's ZSMJ that makes us a lot of space for the team, but it's good to see that his team doing the same for him. Meanwhile, looks like a Warlock ultimate drop for a solo kill attempt and not getting anything here.
That hurts.
Oh, here comes Con the mid lane, another Death Ward, and Havos is just eating all of these ganks. Well, actually still alive, but not for long. Dendi walking forward is going to get a rebuttal kill.
Na'Vi were ready. They had the Mech Shadow Fiend sitting there. They had the Keeper of the Light for some extra burst damage with an Illuminate. They're going to drop a Requiem of Souls here to negate some of Air's damage output, but the tower should get denied here. Yep, Lion just barely getting that last hit tonight. I like what Na'Vi do there. They know that the next Blink Axe Core gank is coming, and they kind of position themselves such that they bait in the middle lane, get the counter kills, also create space for Funny to get the bottom tier 1 tower, and HGT just didn't have... I mean, they needed the Lion. That was the big thing there. He hit level 6. He needs to be there for those Blink Call initiations with the burst damage.
Yeah, the burst damage would allow them to get the quick kill and then just get out. Especially if they got the dunk kill, they could have run out much quicker as well. But yeah, it's starting to pose a problem, because right now Shadow Fiend has insane burst damage. He has insane heal with his team, and whenever Na'Vi decides to 5-man with the Warlock ultimate, there's really no way that HT could teamfight into that. I mean, you could get a call, but you're going to eat an ult and an upheaval.
Yeah, the thing is, for now, Funny hasn't even needed to join up with his team. He's just been singing that bottom lane. He's got 1,200 gold, has the mice, has level 11 as well.
Yeah.
So already the level 2 Chaotic Offering, and we'll see HGT move through the enemy jungle. They want to use the Blink Dagger on the Axe to initiate it, and they find Funny here. Lion, meanwhile, going to go into the Rubik, drops the finger, doesn't kill Vayne score immediately. Oh no, they can't get any kills off of this. The Death Ward not doing enough as well, and Kaka gets thrown to the wolves to help cover the retreat.
HGT cannot mess these ganks up. Finger is on a very long cooldown. I mean, Axe went on, it was, I believe, the Warlock, and then he thought he could get a solo kill, and here comes a Roshan. This was HGT's Roshan kill. They have the TA. They need to make this work. Is Ember gonna rotate? Yeah, he's coming in, but they're taking it so quickly.
And they got the GG high ground ward here. They see everything around that tree area at the bottom tier 1 tower.
Well,
they know where HGT are positioned.
They got a trap in the Rosh as well, so HGT has some limit around vision. And this is TI3 final. Dandy getting bashed to hell by Rosh. Okay, Cass is gonna fly out here. 2 great traps right in the vicinity. Look at the back.
Na'Vi want to wait 10 seconds for the chaotic offering, I feel, but...
And HGT just don't want to fight, because they can't really fight. Not in
Na'Vi
this
leave
close
Roshan
space.
so low, but now they've got the rock, and I feel like they, with how low they left Roshan, they need to go back in. Or at least they need to try and take a fight in the pickoff.
Vanscore has Hex, by the way.
Hex.
That's a big spell here, too, against Ember.
Yeah, Ember, TA, any of these number of heroes here. Oh my gosh, both teams see each other. That's the hilarious thing here.
Yeah, and they can't fight.
They're so close to one another.
Na'Vi wants to fight, but HGT definitely cannot fight.
I like this move. Have Havos maybe solo finish off Roshan, but...
He doesn't have healing ward, though. It's off cooldown soon. Oh, no, he does have it. Okay. Here we go.
Are they going for the steal?
Requiem being channeled up.
Ember. The Roshan back.
SFJ, he's going to try to make the big plays. Is he coming in? He sees Rosh. He's not going in. He's going to be late, and he's actually trapped there. He needs to get out. Chaotic offering is used, though, and not a very good one, but they got what they came for, and they'll get out.
Well, a lot of tension, and did not amount to too much there.
That was the biggest game of chicken, right? And both teams kind of chickened out.
I mean, both teams kind of lost there. As far as...
I think Navi's happy with it.
Yeah. No, as far as who was the bigger chicken, I feel like both showing they perhaps lacked a bit of testosterone. But
sure.
For a team, that definitely shows that Na'Vi is a new team. Normally a team with Havos would be manning up, trying to just fully engage and take the fight to HGT there, but that was some composure coming out of Na'Vi.
We know Havos would man up. Have you seen that level 1 rune grab and then how that resulted? Oh, this ancient steal from Funnick, though. It's look at that flaming fist.
Oh, that is a nice little pickup here. Just a double stack, so not the end of the world, but still some good money going Funnick's way as he's now pretty much at Acceptor. He's 400 away.
18-minute Aghanims. Okay. I mean,
what's the answer to this Warlock at this point?
There is no answer. There actually is not. I don't know how HT is going to fight around these big rock Infernos, but eventually, those Infernos going to just march to your supports. Looks like
even your carries, your Ember Spirit, your TA, these are very close range, kind of melee-esque heroes.
Cleave off the creeps? No? Okay. He's going to go for Gold Black instead, but Blinding Light, they're doing a very good job kind of kiting things back, and looks like they got to run.
Yeah, Havos has Omni Slash, and that is probably not a fight you want to be taking when he's also got the Aegis on top of that.
I feel like when Havos has an Aegis, it's like, okay, it's a fair fight. Do you get what I'm saying?
Fair fight for who?
For both party, because he kind of needs the Aegis.
You think so? Havos has been carrying, man.
I love Havos, right? He plays YOLO, balls to the wall. Finger of Death's gonna come a nice dunk here from Icy. But sometimes he plays real. It's like a very fine line. It's like you go to YOLO and then you just throw away the game. But sometimes he makes spectacular plays.
I feel like this tournament, there's like no doubt that Havos has been the standout player at times, putting his team on his back.
Yeah.
His performance has been one of the best of any players in the tournament.
Ooh, Lion getting a blink. That's huge. Previously, they didn't really have a way to open up apart from the Axe. Now they have kind of 2 ways. In fact, they're going to go right on Dendi. Dendi doesn't have the mana for the mech, and he is a goner.
No, gets the mana now, but it's going to go for the TP out, and they nothing to cancel it.
Wow.
Maledict to the Fountain, not going to do anywhere near enough damage.
Was it a mistake by HGT opening up with both their stuns?
I think for sure.
Yeah.
That's a kill they really needed.
I guess the idea there was we have to burst him down because he has the mech, but then he didn't have the mana for the mech. And he just TP'd out.
Well, HGT now kind of find themselves in a troublesome position, I feel. They need to use this burst damage of the line with the Axe Blink Call. I feel like they need to be jumping Funnick and trying to kill him before he drops the Infernals, because otherwise fights don't go well.
Can he, though? Because you have Blinding Light and things like
Mech.
And then if Shadow Fiend starts to channel an ultimate, you can't ignore him either.
Even just looking where Funnick positions, he's well behind his team. You see have a Voss in the front lines, and Funnick just hiding in a little tree patch, pokes his head up every now and then, but for the most part, he's positioned very far back.
He's like, all right, Havos, you be the manly man. I'm going to stay behind you. And they're going to take a T2 for free. There's no way you could really fight into 2 Rock. And if you think 2 Rocks is scary, wait till you get the 4. Good luck.
Well, ZSMG just doing what he can to kind of counter push the top lane. Gonna not even complete the drums. He just wants Battle Fury as soon as possible. Probably recognizing that this is a game that's going to be built around just the high ground defense. Because right now,
where are you going?
Ooh, they're going icy. They actually dropped the Chaotic Infernal here as Kaka goes to the low ground, going to go for the blink or the TP out, and nothing to cancel it. So
I see. He has a TP as well, and looks like he'll use it here.
We've seen a few times these Chaotic... That's the incredible thing. These Chaotic offerings have not been used very effectively.
The Chaotic offering has zoned out 1 Roche fight and taken 1 T1 tower bottom. That's it.
It's accelerated his farm, I guess, and he's going to send these to the jungle. He can farm multiple camps, can farm the Ancients, as we've seen.
And,
well, maybe it is a fair fight. Well, I don't even know if this is a fair fight.
I don't think they can kill him a second time. Well, Blink Call is down.
He can't TP.
Oh, they got Death Ward.
Well, for one thing, it's on cooldown. Yeah, Death Ward, they can lock him in place. Easy killing Havos.
Oh, there you go.
Was that a fair fight?
I mean, I'm pretty sure when I said that was a fair fight, like Twitch chat with their 700 Reddit MMR, it's like, oh, Lumi doesn't know what he's doing.
No, dude. Twitch, you don't know Twitch chat if that's what you think they were doing. There's only one thing they were doing, and that was spamming a certain number, which they're also spamming right now, before I even said that.
I mean, case in point.
Oh, well, we got HGT up a kill, but they're down about 5,000 net worth, and they've got some good answers, though. I feel like it's they haven't got the best answers to the Warlock rocks, but as far as the rest of the lineup goes, as far as the TA and his farm goes, the Axe with the initiations we've seen from IC have been pretty solid. They're not out of this game by any means. Even the Witch Doctor's done a lot of damage with multiple Death Wards already.
I absolutely agree. I think they just take the game against Na'Vi on a different axis, right? You don't team fight them. You just make the plays that they've been making, which is going for these solo ganks. This could be a bait, though. Very close to the T2 tower. Havos still has that Omni Slash, so not nearly as safe of a kill. I wonder if Havos uses that Mask of Madness as liberally as he's been doing, because you get caught when you're masked, you're dead. Oh, the lift is going to open things up. Blink Hex, 2-man Impale, and they're going to burst Havos down again. Vanscore, looks like actually he fingered. The Death Ward doing so much work. Vanscore, though, is going to survive, and Pretty Hall, he's trapped in a corner. He's going to try to walk out. Good luck with that. A single raise will do it. But that's a great trade for HGT again.
I mean, they a bit unlucky, maybe. Well, I don't know about unlucky, but not quite enough damage to kill a Vangscore on the Rubik, but still a fantastic trade for them. Na'Vi just weren't ready for that surprise line, Blink Impale.
I think he has shown that Blink for a long time now, right?
Yeah, it was more the positioning, I think, where he was just waiting there, using... The Ember Spirit was running away as if, oh crap, I've overextended, let's get the hell out of here.
But it was a clever bait.
Yeah. He's a good actor.
Well, ZSMJ gotta do more than acting, because this game is not as... Oh, Vanscore? Rock's gonna get dropped. This one actually doing pretty good job. Oh, okay.
4-staff, no. It's the farming neutrals Infernals. We've seen this before, too many times before, as, hey, he'll send them to push out creep waves to farm the jungle.
Look, man, if you're not using it, the cooldown's not being better. It's not like it should take advantage of it too much.
No, I remember talking about with Winter with, like, your Ravages and Black Holes. The first few ultis of those, you get a solo kill with a Ravager or Black Hole.
He hasn't been getting any kills.
I mean, you get 5. I mean, it's like one kill gets you about 500 gold, let's say.
Right.
Here, one Inferno going to get him about maybe 300-400 gold from the neutrals from pushing out lanes.
He's going Blink.
I'm kind of surprised.
I mean, the cast range of that thing is like 2 screens away.
So what can you do with Blink on Warlock? Let's. I mean, theory. You can get a better position for an upheaval, like Blink into trees.
Sure. But all of his spells are just so long-ranged.
Yeah, I mean, even the up. I guess it's more about being in a position where you're not going to get caught out and being able to cast something like your upheaval during that. Otherwise, what you can get away from... I mean, Blink Call is instant. Blink Hex from line is instant. If you're getting ganked, this Blink Dagger won't really save you against these instant lockdowns.
It's a purely offensive Blink. And, I mean, honestly, I think you just want to rush for a refresher, but hey... We'll see if it pans out to be...
Yeah, it's one of those things I want to see. I mean, maybe it does nothing, but it's more like the theory behind it is sound in that you can get in a better position for an upheaval, but...
I mean, the thing it really reminds me of is Disruptor gating Blink. Because you're saying like 1600 cast range on Glimpse is a crap ton, and you don't need a Blink, but we've seen time and time again that Blink has allowed you to pick up more kills than, you know, if you didn't have to Blink. So maybe Blink is.
Na'Vi's lineup does benefit a lot from the upheaval this game. You look at Shadow Fiend, who's going to start right-clicking hard soon, and more importantly, I think Havos, who's got the Sanjin Yasha coming out with the Phase Boots Mask of Madness. So in a lot of ways, the upheaval going to be an important spell in these kind of mid to late game fights.
Yeah. I mean, all of these fights that HGT has initiated, they've been clean, they've been quick, apart from that one jungle where they kind of like axe call on one guy and the finger call on the other guy. We just gotta keep in mind that if Funnick is there once, where he drops the chaotic offering on them, the fight totally turns. So maybe that Blink is the item to at least give them the gap closing, and they're gonna try to fight this Roshan again.
Ooh,
all right.
Seems risky here. Kaka gonna get scattered out. He's gonna blink and blink fast. He does not have a TP though, and I don't know if Na'Vi saw that.
Upheaval? Chaotic.
Oh, they assume he TP perhaps.
Yeah.
They also have just no way of really scouting him in those trees or doing too much, and they will scout out Roshan. They've got the TA trap in there.
I think this
not
is a
in
smart
range.
play for HGT. They're gonna just give it up completely.
Yeah, I don't think Na'Vi with an Aegis is scary, in the sense that their game plan is built around not taking those 5v5 team fights. If Na'Vi push mid as 5, okay, sure, you're going to defend, but you can base your high ground defense around the sleight of fist spam with a Battle Fury, and just split pushing these other lanes. So I feel in general, this is okay for HGT, even if they didn't get a tower in exchange.
They got the T1, I think, mid. And they got
the T1 mid?
Yeah, or was it down a long time ago?
I think it was down some time ago.
Okay.
The TA, or at least fairly like recent-ish, but not like during the Roshan.
Yeah, and they put some decent damage on the T2, so.
It also, I mean, Na'Vi were just forced to immediately come back to push out lanes after an Aegis. It's not like Na'Vi could get the Aegis and then
push
5-man.
Yeah.
It's forcing Na'Vi to kind of regain their map control, push out the lanes a bit, and HGT, and this time, once again, they're farming. Even if they aren't pressuring lanes, they're in their jungle, they're at top, they're at the Radiant Ancients. Icy, by the way, in the Axe almost has a BKB, too.
Is BKB going to do a lot this game?
I think it's a good item, but it's not like a... There's still a lot of physical damage. But it's more like he wants to be blink calling in. There's Illuminate almost guaranteed to hit him. Shadow Fiend Requiem of Souls, Raises. Like, it still seems like a pretty good BKB game, even if it's not going to be amazing.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the Aghanim's extra dunking would be a factor, and I'm not sure if it is. Maybe just getting straight into Shiva's might have been a better choice, because he needs the armor. His team needs the kind of the physical survivability that Shiva provides. I don't know.
It feels like BKB will give him more survivability than a Shiva's Guard, as far as the amount of damage a BKB is going to block compared to like the armor from a Shiva's Guard.
And it's going to be a Hex from Warlock, so...
No refresher. Okay, so HGT, the TA is the main reason I feel this is the case. Top lane.
Wow.
Okay.
That was a good impale. And he Hex
as far as not going refresh orb, I feel like he's kind of respecting the TA's damage output, and that air right now can actually bring down these Infernals very quickly with this Desolator of his.
Well, if you want to waste hits on the rock and...
Yeah.
Okay.
It still seems surprising that he's not going for the refresh orb. It's been proven to be one of the more effective builds.
I mean, we just see Warlock, like when MVP play it, it's so based around the ultimate.
Yep.
Funnig is just taking a different approach with the hero, which is fine. Like with
this almost makes the Blink makes more sense when you see this ultimate orb into a Scythe of Ice, because Blink Hex, amazing. We saw that with Fear's Necrophos.
Oh my god, Vanscore is just doing so much work with this Blink though. Icy taking a ton of... plus 40 armor is pretty big, and here comes TP out from Havos. Can he walk in and cancel it? No, there's no cancel.
Oh,
what a play from ZSMJ. Funnick, is he going to drop the Inferno? He will. The question is, how many Flaming Fist Fingers going to come out? Jumping forward is ZSMJ. And another Flaming Fist. Oh, he cannot stun them.
Mistakes were made. Bring out the chat, Will Kaka.
Well, I don't want to say that he used them willy-nilly, but at least C2 Rocks is going to help you push down the tower.
Yeah. Dendy feeling pretty confident up here. Okay.
Solo kill.
TA is... This Blink pickup, something we're seeing more and more of with the Refraction Blink Dagger changes, but he can insta-kill this Rubik. Keeper of the Light, insta-kill as well, unless you like immediately Blinding Light and get some good RNG. And Air is not building towards the MKB just yet, but I feel like it may come after a Daedalus. With Daedalus, MKB, Desolator, Yasha, his damage output is just insane.
Yeah.
His burst damage is just going to be out of control. He may feel he needs to go for the BKB, which is where he's going to have to commit to one item or the other. If he wants a defensive item, I feel he may just be content with a Manta MKB and replacing the drums with that MKB and not getting a BKB this game.
I think Icy is going to be the focus, and he's going to eat a ton of that damage, especially with the BKB first. That allows your TA to buy a little bit more glass cannon, and I fully agree with the item choice that the TA is going for. In fact, I think the TA could solo kill any Na'Vi member.
Oh, yeah.
You know, should the 1v1 fight actually proceed.
He's definitely going to need the MKB. Dendy's completed a butterfly on his Shadow Fiend.
Havos dead. Well, dunk him.
Doesn't get the dunk, which makes getting the second kill a bit harder here, as Vangscore going to keep them at bay. The upheaval from Funnick. The other nice thing you can do with the Blink Dagger is you upheaval, and when they get close to you, they're about to stun you or call you, you blink away. So it can be used somewhat defensively in that nature, but...
Like we saw there. Yeah, if we're going for the Hex Stick, it's, I want to say maybe 3-4 more minutes of Funnick not dying and just minusing creeps. You'll get it.
Now, I don't know. I just have this feeling right now that Navi's draft is... It feels like they're in a bit of trouble. I don't know. Am I right in... do you feel like this is a 50-50 game, or is Navi getting enough done, or...
Okay, so let's focus on the late game, right? Obviously, Havos has died quite a minute of time, so his farm has not progressed too well. Dendy's gone for the mech BKB build, so it's very defensive. Now, granted, the mech allow them to get to Roche, maybe a couple of towers. But could you make the argument that the mech wasn't even necessary because they could have gotten it just with the Inferno alone?
I think there was that one fight mid lane where it really helped.
Oh, TA doesn't have BKB, he can't play this aggressively, and in fact, he's going to get just completely jumped on from all sides. And that is Vanscore sealing Hex again. So I guess that's where not having BKB really hurts.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, Lift Hex both kind of insta-disables, but yeah, the BKB could have just been used preemptively. Mid lane, though, they're going to go for a kill on a Voss. Oh, man, he's not had a good game so far. The Omni Slash not going to get it off.
Just
both
really clean kills from both
down.
sides.
Yeah. That's an important kill, because Na'Vi were kind of posturing at top as if they wanted to go for at least a high ground siege or a high ground attempt, and with Jug dead, suddenly that kind of ends it.
Yeah, great split push from Icy.
Oh,
Blink 4 staff away.
Doesn't cancel the blink.
Yeah, we saw how big that upheaval range is.
HGT just have such great map control. I mean, they've got this gem on the line, which he's had for some time, dewarded a lot of the map. And it's pretty much going to make it a lot harder for Na'Vi to find pickoffs. Guarantee that HGT can get to that late game, and it goes back to that question of who's really got the better late game. And
oh, not if Dendy dies here. He sees it coming. Oh, look at the initiation range.
Sick.
Blink follow-up. Impale. They got the Hex. Dude, they got the finger, though. They need the burst damage so they could dunk on Dendy. He's dropping low, but the BKB mech and Icy. Actually, they toss him away. The BKB a little bit slow on Icy. Gets a little bit armor, and that's going to be it.
That was a sick initiation. They just didn't have Death Ward and didn't have Finger.
Yeah, I mean, and going back, maybe the Aghanims would have helped out there in terms of having the dunking threshold. But that kill wasn't as clean as what we saw from previously.
The clean kills come when they have the Finger, the Death Ward to use on top of all these disables. It was still like, I mean, the 4-staff into Blink, because it being daytime, Dendy was positioned such that he would see the axe before he could get a Blink call-off, but the 4-staff really was nice there.
So in terms of what I think who has a better late game, oh, great ward by Kaka, is I think Na'Vi is going to have the edge for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then that's where the Ember and the TA and the Axe really start to take off. But 10 more minutes of that, I think that's where your Havos gets to catch up. That's where your double Inferno is going to come through. And I think it's going to be back to Na'Vi again.
This is going to be like one of the first games of the tournament for Havos where he's not number 1 or number 2 on net worth. He is currently sitting 5th.
Wow. These are the games where I look at the stat line and I say, Na'Vi can't win this, but I mean, Funnick he has so much teamfight impact, so it's really hard to call.
Yeah, and this Scythe of Ice could change a lot. We've seen the vulnerability of Air's build on the TA, and he's about to get caught out again. The Vangscore Ward going to catch him out. They drop the kill confirm. They want to bring him down with the Omni Slash. Air can't get out of that one. Bashed and locked in place. The death ward from Pretty Horde not being dealt with. He's going to get right-clicked down by Dendi. Axe kick picks off the Keeper of the Light. 1-for-1 so far. Icy in all sorts of trouble. Gets off the Berserker's call, but Flame and Fist. 3-for-1 trade, and that Observer Ward, I mean, they should have expected that. Na'Vi were up there very aggressively in their jungle, and TA's just chilling kind of alone, and I guess Na'Vi did kind of catch him by surprise by a smoke gank, but I feel like that wasn't that... I feel like a gank like that should be somewhat expected at this stage of the game.
I absolutely agree, and the Rock being so good at team fighting and now pushing is going to be a big problem. HGT trying to defend, but you're going to start having to expending glyphs and whatnot. Here we go, Ember Spirit trying again, and wow, what a finger kill from Lion.
That's important, because right now TA and Axe both do not have buyback. They've just got the Sleight of Fist from ZSMJ to try and delay things here, and right now, that's going to be enough.
Yeah, they held without using any buyback. Of course, glyph was used, but I think they'll be okay, because I don't think Na'Vi will make a big play without the next Inferno cooldown, which is in 90 seconds.
That could open up Roshan for the taking for HGT, although that's about 60, 70 seconds away, so may make it a bit... It's going to be a fine timing where Roshan respawns around when the Chaos Inferno comes up.
Yep. Yeah, we see that if HGT doesn't get snap pickoffs, and something we keep talking about, they will just lose any prolonged team fight.
It seems whoever gets the whoever's initiating, assuming it's a good initiation, is going to win the team fight outright.
I'm not sure if HGT could initiate into a 5-man of Na'Vi, though. Unless you get the Warlock.
It depends who, they catch out. Well, speaking of initiation, Blink Hex from Funnick. He's going to catch out Kaka on the line. Full staff to the high ground. Kaka's going to be okay. Na'Vi hoping for a Roshan respawn, although at the same time, I don't know if they want to fight at Roshan right now.
Wait, did Vanscore get traps?
Yes. No, he did not get traps. He had traps earlier in the game. No, he just wards the cliff here. The gem is no longer on the supports. It's been... Okay, picked up by Kaka now. It's being recovered. They need to deal with this cliff here. They send the courier up there, and this is much needed vision for Na'Vi around the Roshan pit if they want to try and take it.
I think some key spells to look for if your Vanscore is the TA trap for more map vision, not necessarily fighting.
Na'Vi are going for this. I guess 12 seconds is okay. Okay, no, Dendi's going to back out after a couple right clicks. 12 seconds, they've got the Chaos Infernal back up.
They could wait. And then smoke. Maybe they're going to do a big wraparound. Who's going to lead that wraparound? Havos?
Na'Vi have still got a lot of smoke considering we're 40 minutes into this game. They have this one now and then one more on top of this.
I love this play by HGT. This is going to be the big ones, Aegis and Cheese, and I don't think Na'Vi realize what's going on unless this is some bashes from Roshan. Huge play from HGT. Aegis, Cheese being picked up. Here comes Havos. He finally gets off an ultimate. Big rock into the pit, and
why was Ember even in the pit?
Ember wants to pick up the Cheese. Well, he has to buy back and come back in. I'm not sure if they want to fight into this, though.
Yeah, they've killed off the Ruby.
Death Ward.
Doing good damage here. Still bouncing as well. This Witch Doctor's farmed himself an axe. They force out the Ember buyback. Okay, he wanted to pick up the Cheese. Still, he needed to get in and get out.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know how HGT wins this game through the Inferno ultimate.
The TA Aegis and just TA making sure you have a second life on TA seems essential, because it just doesn't feel like TA is going to be able to stay alive in a fight against the control the Warlock offers. The Rubik has been playing amazing as well. Vangscore's been getting the telekinesis initiations, the Hex from the Lion, and just using these spells to great effect as well. But this kind of smoke gank, HGT need to go back to what kind of got them back in the game after a slow start, which was pickoffs and just great initiations coming out from the Axe as well as Lion.
To be fair, though, Na'Vi is now grouping up more than ever.
Yeah.
Previously, it was Havos farming on his own on an island, Dendi doing the same thing. Now, you can see that Na'Vi heroes are grouping up. They know their advantage, despite the fact that it's HGT that got the Aegis. But Inferno is down for a little bit while, so I think HGT maybe should even poke at this tier 2 a little bit.
They know there's no Infernal, and they've got Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah. At least force Na'Vi to make some kind of defensive play.
Now, Na'Vi do a buyback on Dendi Shadow Fiend, but that's it right now.
Okay.
Dendi possibly going to be forced to use that buyback.
Well, they're gonna get a clean kill. Nicely done here. Inferno not cooldown just yet. They're gonna get a tier 2 clean. Upheaval's gonna annoy Heroes a little bit.
I mean, you see Dendi dead. At this point, you're saying, let's go high ground. Even if he has a buyback, your TA is Aegis, you've got cheese.
What's the cooldown on Warlock ult?
About 30, 40? Yeah, 40 seconds.
Yeah, if the buyback syncs up with the Warlock ult where it cuts off the retreat, it could get ugly, but I think they should have forced it.
It's only ZSMJ TPing back. He can always fire Remnant back, so I don't think the plan is to abandon this push. At this point, they want to at least force Dendi's buyback and try and not take casualties.
Oh, they take
go back.
Black.
What are you doing on the low ground?
Wow.
Why was
Can
down
even
there?
dunk. I mean,
dear.
remember Gold Black Ogre Magi walk down the ramp when they had Dusa?
Well,
okay,
he's
they
short
need to run
50
now.
gold to buyback. Do they need to run, though? I mean,
Warlock ult's back, though.
they may look to regroup here, but I feel like fighting around the Aegis, you've got Na'Vi bottled up in their base. I don't. They're going to look for another blink call. I feel like that is the play. You look for another pick-off, and then you try and take high ground. They can't just go. They can't siege, but they can try and get a good blink call.
Yeah, I definitely agree with they can't siege. They're hanging around. They're looking for any stragglers. Havos is like, hey guys, I'm farming.
And they left the fire room there. Air's going to be the one just kind of pushing out things here. 2 minutes left on this Aegis, so I feel like this is a big window for HGT where they can take Na'Vi in a team fight, even with the Infernals.
I'm not sure about that. Well, it depends how good the how good the Fatal Bond is.
Yeah.
How good the upheaval is. It depends on whether Havos gets off his ult or Dendi gets off his ult. I think if either of those ults get to pop, HGT just can't sustain that damage.
Oh, both teams going to run each other. The blink. Oh, I see blink to the wrong location.
Was he farming with that impale? They got blink hex.
Voss maybe in trouble.
Oh, the rock right on top of Kaka. Kaka's dead. He's actually just dead. Yep. 4-staff too slow.
Yeah, he had it earlier too.
Uh-oh. Where's the Omni Slash? It's going on everybody. Air gets abysmally. Air is...
He's got the Aegis still, though. He's going to go down and come back into this fight with a lot of damage output. Dendi could wind up a Requiem. He's going to go for it just to deal with their damage. Cancels it after a second, though, and Na'Vi have lost 3, possibly 4. Dendi, this will be a dieback for him. He's got to get out of here. He's going to go for the Requiem. Gets called by Icy. This is not a hero you can afford to lose now. Icy almost goes down to the dying Requiem. Infernals will be dealt with. Air's got insane damage.
I mean, these rocks are
okay. 4 dead though. No buyback for Dendi.
You're absolutely right. Air with the HS plays, and he even gets a courier who tries to rescue the gem. Oh no, you didn't. Air is playing out of his mind. I think everybody has been playing extremely well this game.
It's not the ZSMJ show. This has been Air's TA all day long in this game.
ZSMJ has had some nice catches, but yeah, I agree.
He's had to play so defensively every fight because he's paper. He's does not have any survivability whatsoever. The damage output from Na'Vi is just crushing him in these fights, and the TA's doing some serious work. 5.2k gold on the TA now. Unfortunately for HGT, they would have loved to have taken some objectives off of Dendi dying back, but they lost too many heroes in the end. The Warlock Infernals killing off the line, just not having like your initiators. The Axe, the Lion out of the picture made things a lot harder.
I'm surprised that TA did not try to at least poke at the T2 top. You have a Desolator. You mow down the creep wave 2-shot. So...
And what are you worried? I guess without Aegis, a Rubik, like once you get telekinesis, he has no BKB.
It was a Rubik, Warlock, and a Keeper. I guess they could kind of keep you around, monolith you, upheaval you.
Yeah, and make it hard for you to get a TP out, potentially. Right. I guess telekinesis is their only... Just that and Mana Leak, which...
If he had a BKB, I would have faulted him completely for not making that play, but obviously he doesn't have the BKB, so...
Is MKB the next item for Air, though? I feel like more and more it's looking like a BKB would be nice this game, but there's Butterfly, there's Blinding Light. If anything, he needs to replace the Deso with MKB and get a BKB as well. Like, I feel like BKB, MKB is the way to go.
I don't think he necessarily lacks damage, although the MKB is an interesting argument because you're getting a shot evaded. Smash used to love to get hexes on TA.
Oh, that's a cool item.
I think this game you have a ton of initiation just from the line and axe, so yeah, he's just going to go straight damage.
If he feels like he needs the BKB, I imagine he may replace either the Blink or the Deso. I feel like the Blink is doing amazing this game.
Yeah.
Being able to catch out like a support like a Rubik, instantly blow them up, and just having the insta follow-up to it, the Axe Blink call. If you have to walk in, that delay is sometimes a lot of missed damage output.
Yeah, by the time that you walk in, I think the Inferno would have already been dropped and things would have gone ugly. But this is one of those games that's just developing into, you want to have the Axe blink call, draw out the ultimate, and maybe just have that Warlock go run around a little bit, because the initial stun really allows Na'Vi to get off their ults. The rest of the Requiem and whatever else, which can make it difficult to fight. I think Na'Vi actually do worse in prolonged fights now.
Well, they've got the refresher of Funnick says...
Oh my god, it's
about
so hard
that.
for HGT to win.
Double Hex is the other big thing here. I feel like he waited a bit longer to get this. The Chaos offerings, the actual damage output from the Golems is nice, especially with the Flaming Fist procs, but it's going to be about the double stun, the double Hex, the control this offers in a team fight, and then any damage output the rocks give on top of that is just kind of icing on the cake.
And the blink might have looked a little bit weird earlier, but now it's just so good, because when you're casting double Fatal Bonds and Upheaval, you want to just have as much mobility as possible. These are some very key spells.
At the same time, Funnick without buyback. If he gets caught out, I don't know what to say.
Well, he shouldn't get caught out, right? You're Warlock, you have a building range, you have a Blink Dagger, you should stay back.
It's just like a stray smoke gank. You never know who HGT may run into.
That's true.
They don't actually have a smoke for a couple of minutes, which is an important thing to note here. Both teams at this stage of the game are going to be running low on smokes.
By the way, I think Icy going for... Sorry, not Icy. The Witch Doctor. Hold on. One ultimate being dropped, refresh immediately. Second one being dropped on air, but he's just walking away. But Axe decides to engage, and Axe will lose all of his health instantaneously. Air was absolutely fine there.
The rocks were wasted.
Well, they're not wasted now. They're storming down mid lane.
Axe's buyback, though, I feel like this is really risky for Na'Vi. We could see... I guess Axe is the one you want to initiate in, so you can't, like, buy back as someone initiates. Maybe a Blink Impale, but...
But look at these Warlock. One Warlock ult down. Or one Golem down. They will glyph right now. Blink Impale. It's going to catch onto. Here comes the buyback. Death Ward. And it's ping and throw. Everything. What a call from Icy. Dendy's dropping a low. Dendy's dead. And the chase goes the other way thanks to Coling Blade.
Funnick has no buyback. Dendy has no buyback. This is a disaster for Na'Vi. They've only got Juggernaut. Oh, almost catches out the Keeper of the Light.
They don't care. They're going to just go down the midway. The Warlock ultimate gets cleaned up.
What plays? This Witch Doctor has been one of the big heroes this game. Pretty hot on the Witch Doctor. The Axe with that insane blink call. Insane.
Wow. It's a best of one. It could go either way.
And Na'Vi going out. They had such an amazing group stage.
I mean, let's not count them out just yet.
No.
They could be down 1-2 racks and still make this a game, but it's definitely not.
Do you go for the throne here? What's the move? HGT going to play it safe?
You got the Deso. Why not? You got the sustain heal from Witch Doctor.
Well, they've got no Axe buyback. TA does have a buyback to fall back on, but it looks like they're going to play a double racks here. They're going to get mid and bottom lane. This is the safe choice. They can also get Roshan. Roshan has respawned, so they're going to get 2 lanes of racks, a Roshan with Aegis and Cheese, and that puts them in the driver's seat.
Here's the thing, though. I'm not sure if playing it safe was ultimately the right move there.
I think they could have... I don't know the numbers on it. High chance they could have got a throne there. Havos would have bought back. He would have fought tooth and nail to prevent it, but...
Here's the thing, though. Like, even though you're 5v5 in front of 2 tier 4 towers, Warlock's not a hero when he doesn't have the ult. Granted, he does have Hex and Upheaval, so that's still really big, but...
You mean if they'd gone for throne?
Yeah, if
well, Warlock was dead. He only just respawns
but even
now.
Even if he spawns now, he still wouldn't contribute nearly as much. So that's kind of my argument for that. But this is the ultra safe move.
This is a best of one for $70,000.
Yes.
You jump up $70,000 just by winning this game. It is a lot of pressure, and more importantly, stuff like TI5 invites. These are, I mean, Na'Vi, one of those teams, if they can get top 3 at a DAC, suddenly it's like, do they get a TI5 invite?
I mean, they got to go through Cloud9, and, you know, that's a tough opponent. But HGT right now is putting them on the rope, so... All right, one big smoke gang. When the going gets tough, man. This takes me back to TI2 fluff and stuff with Team Fire. Was that Team Fire then? Or was it Team Liquid already?
The Complexity Smoke Gang?
Complexity Smoke Gang. Here we go. Funnick's got ult. Does he have double ult? 10 second to double ult. Oh, Go Black leads the charge. I'm not sure about this ult. Where's the Warlock ult? It's going to come down, but it's going to be... Where's the Warlock? Is he in the fight? I'm not even sure, but Havos is dead immediately.
took Dendy down.
Is dead immediately. Does he have buyback? Icy's dropping low. Here comes the second O. And the Flaming Fist, they're not doing enough damage.
Omnisize does bring down ZSMJ. Now the Death Ward comes out, and it's doing a huge amount of damage once more. They just can't deal with this Witch Doctor. 4 dead, only Keeper of the Light left standing.
That's it.
Na'Vi are done for. Their run in the Dota 2 Asia Championship, it's come to an end.
And HGT.
A performance.
I mean, everybody
from Air. From the Witch Doctor.
Was doubting HGT in terms of whether they could play their A game.
Except for yours truly. I hyped this team up, man. I believed ZSMJ. It wasn't him. Got to give credit where it's due.
It's
the
not
TA,
like the
the
ZSMJ played bad.
support.
Everybody played well on this team.
Absolutely. This was just...
This was an A+ game. Their Chinese fathers would be proud.
That wasn't like no A- where you go home and it's like, yeah, good job, son.
No, this was A+. Who they got next?
They got Cloud9 or eHome.
Oh, Cloud9's tough. Cloud9's tough, but you know we'll have to wait and see because that game should be a nail-biter as well. Wow, what a game!
That was just such a way to end Navi's run here. I mean, Na'Vi, you got to give him credit. They go home tied 9th place, but it really feels like they did so much better than that. There were a lot of teams just talking them up after the... I mean, a lot of...
wrong on that uphill push. They had it all, and then...
Well, the double rock at mid lane where they went on the TA, didn't even kill the TA.
No.
Sure, Axe fed away his life unnecessarily,
Had
but...
buyback.
He had buyback, that's the thing.
Funny didn't have buyback. Dendy didn't have buyback.
Na'Vi just made a few too many risky plays when they maybe didn't have their buybacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, so ends Na'Vi's run. We got one more best of one coming up, but before that, we're going to go back to the panel to break down this game.
Where are you at now, Na'Vi fans? Didn't work.
Okay.
That is a way to start the segment. I am genuinely surprised. Looking at the lineup, looking at Navi's performance during the Dota 2 Asian Championship, and looking at what HGT provided during the group stage, I was convinced that Navi was going to take this. But they didn't. Why didn't they do it?
Do you want to start, or should I start?
Sad golems.
There you go.
Sad golems, indeed.
So,
yeah.
They are, in this game, considering how solid GoDz has been through the entire tournament, if he has a bad game and Funnick has a bad game at the same time, the Juggernaut gets caught out too much this game. I think there's 3 or 4 avoidable deaths that he suffers, and then Juggernaut does not play well from behind against a TA who can refract his Omnislash, and an Ember who just jumps out of it. So Na'Vi are really reliant on the Chaotic Offering to carry them through when the Juggernaut's not having the easiest game. Same for the Shadow Fiend. It was more for me this game about Na'Vi being out of position a lot, misusing spells. A lot of the Infernals especially are probably the standout memory of this game. Just a lot of Chaotic Offerings that end up doing next to nothing. Funnick, I think you can tell from his playstyle in this game that he's used to playing... If he's playing a utility hero, he's generally an initiator. He goes in, he starts the fight. The way he played Warlock like an axe. Does that make sense? It's kind of like he thinks he drops the Infernals and then a fight breaks out. And HGT are just like, okay, we'll just run. And then, fair enough, you used Infernals for that. We'll fight afterwards. And there's too many of those moments. The Axe gets too many good calls, especially on the Shadow Fiend. It's difficult to play against, though. Yeah. I would say that. I think Dendy is the one most in the clear here in terms of his individual play.
Well, the issue was the Axe blinks in, calls Dandy, and the Golems should be there to build him up.
That's where you use them.
They were using the Golems first, so the Axe had an easy time getting the initiations he wanted to. There was no protection for Dandy. It's a Keeper of the Light and Rubik support, so they couldn't really provide something like a Shadow Demon or a defensive support will give him. So they were solely relying on the Golems, but when you drop the Golems like that, and it was just no way they could have actually built Dandy out of those calls from the Axe.
And then you also can't stop the Witch Doctor.
That's the thing. It then became more evident when Witch Doctor gets the Aghanim Scepter, because they say, okay, now we have something that does very well against Witch Doctor. The AoE of Chaotic Offering is big enough that no matter where the Witch Doctor is, you point towards where the ward is and you're gonna stun him. You're gonna stop him. That never happened. Why? Because whenever Witch Doctor popped ultimate, the chaotic offering was already on cooldown because of what you just said. It was used for the initiation.
Mhm.
And without that, the only thing that they had to reliable actually get to him was Rubik Lift, which was by this point always dead, or Hbos with the Abyssal Scepter, which required him to be in melee range of the Witch
Yes.
Doctor. That is something that also never happened.
So ideally, the way these fights should be starting for Na'Vi, instead of dropping the chaotic offering and then building from there, is they have a Blink Rubik. Let him start the fight. He
How
can
about this?
Blink Lift?
Get Juggernaut
fight.
and Shadowfiend hitting the tower. Don't stand close to each other. Wait for the axe to come in. Then call. Then the Rubik go in.
Yeah, that's another way of doing it.
Lower risk.
I think there's just so many. That's the base fight, which I
Yeah.
think is different. But just the ones out in the open where they open with the Warlock, that's one where if you run your Shadowfiend and your Juggernaut and you're not putting any pressure because there's nothing you can claim, right? When there's no objectives. But Vanscore needs to be the initiator for that team. They cannot use chaotic offering like that. The Keeper of the Light, fourth pick in this game, felt. You didn't really feel the presence of that. Maybe what they would have needed was another active support that could have started the fights for them. I'm thinking something along the lines of maybe an Earthshaker, so they have another initiate from range. Sand King, anything along those lines. The Keeper of the Light seemed like an odd one out in that strategy. It just
It was
wasn't
just
built
for the,
around
just
him
for
working.
the lane.
Just for the lane,
Yeah.
yeah.
They wanted to win the lane.
And they didn't really
No, they
win
did-
that.
they
much.
won the lane.
They
won,
won the
but
lane.
not
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah. Juggernaut got a lot of farm, which is what they wanted, and the supports were just a little bit behind in goal, just barely, which in an offensive challenge is where you want to be.
But Na'Vi never acquired a goal lead. I think they were never really more than 5,000.
5,000, yeah. That's
And
the
if you're
thing.
picking a Coddle to win your lanes like that, I think you need to build a bigger advantage. But honestly, for me, this game, if the gold graph is dead even, I still think Na'Vi, with the tools they had, if they play it better, they're still my favorites to win that game from draft.
Yes.
When they have the
Yeah.
double Infernal, double Hex, Warlock. And
I want to say that in
Sure.
Vanscore's defense, whenever he tried to get close on Rubik, whenever he blinked to try to initiate, Lion was very, very paying attention to that, and he was immediately fingered just straight away. Barely he could survive. He had to stay very, very behind and not jump into the initiation because he was target number one. HGT understood that they had to stop the Rubik and that he was very easy to kill,
Mhm.
so he could never steal any very relevant spell or just help with initiation.
I don't think he needed to steal any big spells that game. His job was just to make sure that the Warlock gets a very good Golem off.
Yeah.
That's about it. And like Cinderum pointed out, it was mainly because the weakness of his partner. Kotal, you don't provide anything and everything will be on the Rubik. He has to do every single thing. And you don't have a hero which uses the Kotal's chakra magic, so the hero basically just falls off after the laning phase. He doesn't do anything.
In any case, Na'Vi is going to finish their journey into Dota 2 Asian Championship, tied for the 9th to 12th place. The bracket now looks like this. HGT, to the surprise of all of us except GoDz, will advance to the second round of the lower bracket, where they will face the winner of Cloud9 versus eHome. When is Cloud9 versus eHome played? Well, right now, just after this game.
we just need eHome to win that game, then I'm completely wrong on every lower bracket prediction so
Yes.
far today. There's been some surprises.
I did get Invictus Gaming right, but I was expecting Hellraisers and Na'Vi to win. And with that, 2 of the Western teams are eliminated.
Yes.
All 5 Western teams started in the upper bracket. 4 of them fell. The only one that remains is EG. And from the 4 that fell, 2 are eliminated. Cloud9 has the chance of being eliminated by eHome later today. And the other one is Secret, which will have to play against the winner of Cloud9, eHome, and HGT. So we'll see what happens with that game. Cloud9 versus eHome is planned to start in about 10-15 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to go into a break. When we come back, the final lower bracket match of the day is going to be Cloud9 versus eHome. You fans of Cloud9, you Cloud fans, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Clown fans, really?